it's me, Tewtytron. We're not doing a Tewty Tune today. We're doing a Tewty topic today. This was a patron requested topic, countering the speed meta, how to do it, what your characters are that you can like really use to formulate a plan around the speed meta. Since this is requested from me by White Dog, one of my lore-loving patrons. I also have Puppy Rock and Elamar in that tier, and then we got Dark Wanderer, Little Cheesy, Demadoogie. Those guys are awesome. We do have 2 new patrons as well, Streets Ahead and Cat Forever. I really do appreciate all the support, guys. This is going to be a fun one, I think. So this is the speed chart kind of that is in the CC, the community center in game. Joker updates it every now and again when new characters come out that affect it, I think, in a big way. He did one for this month, so this is actually the most accurate at the moment. And if you look at it, it doesn't tell you really any of the abilities, but it lists off the speed of the character or characters in that speed when they're fully maxed out. And that's really important to know, unless you're... if you don't ever make it to G11, this really wouldn't be that useful to you, I don't think. But who knows? So let's talk about the speed meta, shall we? The speed meta is what characters are out there that can give you the speed to go first and win the game before the enemy really gets to get the ball rolling and start their turns. And there are multiple different types of these characters out there, and I had them kind of set up. So these 3 right here, Cheetah, Martian Manhunter, and Brainiac, these are the 3 that give you turn meter at the very beginning of the fight, at turn 0, which is... Turn 0 is the turn that characters take before the player gets to take control, basically. It all happens before the fight starts, so that certain effects take place. Cheetah gets to do her roar ability, which gives her entire team strength ups and 20% turn meter. Martian Manhunter just gives the turn meter and team-wide awareness to get that turn 1 protection, which is really useful. And then Brainiac gives 15% turn meter right at the beginning. He does not have to be in the leadership position, though, in order to give that turn meter, which is really nice. And it comes with enrage immunity, so you can fight people like Harley Quinn and Eclipso without having to really worry about the RNG of getting enraged. So these are the big 3 with the speed meta because of that turn 0 turn meter. It allows certain slower characters to go before some of the faster characters in the game, and kind of counter them a little bit harder and easier. And these are the characters that really help with Lex teams, for instance, and we'll get into that. So these are what I call the turn 0 speed givers, right? Let's move into, these are the these are the speed enhancers, right? So they don't give any turn meter right off the bat, no turn 0 turn meter, but what they do is they give turn meter throughout the fight. Lex obviously gives turn meter based on buffing, right? On characters buffing. You get turn meter, you get intelligence, you get overheal. You get all of these things from Lex when he is the leader. And then Medfill is a new version of Medfill, where you just have to take a turn and someone on your team will get turn meter and shield along with Medfill. Medfill also gets turn meter and shield. So these are the speed enhancers. They just randomly kind of give out extra turn meter throughout the fight, and those are very important. Now, this tab, let me move my little face here. This tab is the AoE turn meter down list, and I wanted to use the quicker ones. There are more than just these 4, but these are the fast ones. These are the ones that are faster than 120 speed, and can do the turn meter down to the entire enemy team at once. And so Kilowog is the newest of these guys, and he's got his AoE hammer that stuns and drops the enemy team 20%. And I believe he's at 125 speed, so he's still fairly fast, faster than most characters in the game, and can get off that turn meter down early, so that you can counter some of those faster characters. Kid Flash is the fastest AoE turn meter down character in the game, followed by, I believe, Castaway Green Arrow, who's also an AoE turn meter down, but I wanted to spread the love to some other lesser known ones. Beast Boy has his big whale move is an AoE that reduces turn meter on the enemy team. And then Cersei, a lot of people don't think of Cersei as the early turn meter down character, but she's actually really useful as that character. Like, most people think of her as just like a reviver, someone to bring your toons back to life, and that's a great benefit of her. But in my opinion, the most useful trait she has is her AoE, the one that purges buffs and could stun, but mainly also reduces turn meter. So that's really useful as well. And then we have these three, which I think are the big three as far as single target turn meter down, that are quick. Castaway is an AoE turn meter down character as well, and he's kind of a powerful one because he gets to go invisible when he does that, and that means that no one can retaliate against him. It's why you can feel comfortable bringing him against Arcus or like anyone with a retaliation, like Power Girl even, and he's going to be just fine. And that's the sad part. That's why he's big in the meta, because he's at 127 speed, and he can AoE turn meter down the entire team, go invisible, and then just take pot shots at you, which is really annoying and stupid. But Reverse Flash is one of the fastest characters in the game, and he's got a single target turn meter down ability, which is very powerful. And if there's no turn zero taunter on the enemy team, there's likely going to be someone like Castaway. There's likely going to be some other sort of turn zero or turn meter manipulator. And you can take Reverse Flash and reduce their turn meter out the gate, so that that character that you're up against cannot do their turn meter manipulation early. Basically, you'll have a chance to counter them first, take out a character or two before that character that you're worried about gets to go, right? And then Spectre has his 2 ability, which does purge buffs. It potentially stuns and reduces turn meter, and those are all very powerful abilities. And they're at 120 speed or faster, so I think that's why I picked those guys. And then these guys are the exceptions. Right, these are the ones that don't really have a rule. So Superboy passively gives turn meter based on whether or not the enemy team has a taunt or an invisibility on them. So he can really help bring your team up to speed when up against any of the turn zero speed givers or the speed enhancer leaders. That way, like, you can pretty much, if you have Superboy geared up, you can use whatever team you really want to use, as long as you plug in Superboy, and he'll bring your team up to speed with the rest of the enemy team, which is really useful. Wally West is the fastest character in the game, has the highest speed, at least. Batwoman technically could still go before him, but only for the first turn. After that, her speed gets reduced. But Wally West has 133 speed, I believe, and he has an AoE turn meter up ability that gives speed ups as well. So having him on the team is basically like having Cheetah or Martian Manhunter on your team, except out of lead, and it doesn't happen on turn 0. You have to use the active ability as well, but it's still pretty worth having. And then Robin is, he's not a turn meter giver, right? He doesn't give any turn meter. The cool thing about Robin, at least right now, because he is technically up for rework at the moment. The kits haven't dropped yet, so I don't know if this is going to change or not. But Robin has a silence on his third ability, and he has 128 speed. So he is faster than Castaway. He's faster than Kilowog. He's faster than the majority of the AoE turn meter down givers, right? So what he can do is if there's no turn 0 taunter, he can use his 3 on that character that can do the turn meter manipulation and prevent them from doing it on their first turn, which gives you a little bit of time to kind of recover, right? And kill that character or, kind of take control of the match. And then Red Robin also has an ability where he gives 100% turn meter to any ally on your team. So basically, he's pretty quick himself, and before all those other characters get a turn, he can ensure one specific character on your team who may be a little slower, but has an ability that could be clutch in countering the enemy speed team, can go first, and that's really important in my mind. So now let's talk about the ways to straight up counter them. So a lot of people like to do their PvP on auto, right? Well, doing PvP on auto is risky, right? Especially with these characters on the enemy team. Any one of these characters throws a wrench in your plans and just screws everything up, right? If you kill anyone except for Black Mask, you're going to get super debuffed, super slowed, and you're going to get fucked. Same with John Constantine. If you don't kill these guys first, you will lose characters. You might not lose the match, but you're going to lose characters at a minimum, right? Harley Quinn screws everything up. She and Eclipso, you could have this awesome team set up where it's just such great synergy and it's amazing, right? And it totally counters your enemy team except for Harley. Harley is the unique one that kind of pisses everyone off because it's shit, I don't have any anti-evasion on my team. I need to fix that, right? I need to put someone into my team that's anti-evasion. And it makes you think and it makes them pause. And some people don't pause. Some people just try and bull rush it and just oh, Harley, hopefully RNG doesn't fuck me and I'll just go anyway. And then they lose against your team because she evaded everything. And yeah, so you're fucked. And then Jessica Cruz is also interesting because she kind of throws a wrench in your plans too, because you'll kill someone on the enemy team, right? And then she'll start taunting. And it's now she's buffed up. She is taunting. She's got a shit ton of shield, death immunity. She's an obstacle now in front of you that you can't get around. And that's really important to worry about. So these are kind of counters to speed teams, because speed teams are meant to kill your team quickly, right? Before you get the chance to really retaliate. Now, another way to kind of beat a speed team is through a meat shield, right? So you get people like Chemo, you get people like, where's he at? Like Grundy, people with those turn 0 taunts. You could technically use Metallo. All of these meat shield characters, if you're G70 level, or G7, if you're G11, don't ever, WB, if you're watching this, don't ever go to G70. I would quit the game. I would definitely quit the game. But whatchamacallit, if you're at G11, level 70, with no rebirths, then this is fine. If you started rebirthing characters, you need to rebirth these guys as well, because you're going to be up against high tier rebirths as well, and they're going to be able to one-shot your tanks, basically, unless you bring your tanks up to speed. That's why I think my Metallo dies. That's why a lot of people's Metallo dies, because they didn't bring him all the way up. They didn't rebirth him to the same level that the rest of their characters are at. So he's not the greatest tank. No one thinks he's the greatest tank because they didn't put the resources in to bring him to their highest echelon of character. Grundy does a little bit better. He's a little tankier than these other two. He's got turn 0 taunt, and the great thing is that he's got that revive built into his kit, so even if he does die, he doesn't really die. Chemo's a little different. He can definitely help with the team. He's a little squishy at L5, but same rule as Metallo. If you have rebirths, you need to rebirth your tank too. Otherwise, they're just going to get one-shot by the high-powered, damage-dealing characters that are also rebirth that you're fighting. Because you bringing your characters up brings up your enemy character, your teams as well. So that's just something to think about. So the meat shield is important because if the enemy team has the speed but not the damage, then they can't get through your meat shield, and then you can survive to take your turns, which is really important as well. Trying to think of other things that could counter a speed meta other than just a straight up meat shield. Maybe a punishment team. So there's a couple characters that can punish upon death, right? So we have, let's get rid of these guys. The White Lantern Sinestro and Mary Shazam combination is pretty potent because anytime anyone on your team dies, Mary is going to retaliate with an AoE ability, and Sinestro's just going to bring that character back, and whatchamacallit, she can keep using her AoE ability every time that character dies. It's a bit of a riskier play because you're losing stars as these characters die, unfortunately. But it will help guarantee that win just a little bit easier. Who else is kind of a punishment? So there's a character that is technically a punishment character, Lobo. He revives and then like hits the enemy team with like a bleed AoE, and that's like awesome. He would be really great with a rework. I think he probably needs it at this point. He's not that tanky. His power level's super low. He could be a really annoying character though, a really annoying character, and especially with all the revives. So that's someone to consider upon if he ever gets a rework. You're going to want to have Lobo's shards ready. And then another meat shielder, another thick daddy is Barda, Big Barda, who doesn't start with a turn 0 taunt, but anytime the enemy uses an AoE, they risk basically giving your team a shit ton of health and Barda taunting. And that's just kind of snowball a bit, so you want to watch out for Barda for sure. Trying to think of other things that can counter the speed meta. So another thing that is out there is shield teams. Shield teams are kind of awesome because they kind of offer a different form of tankiness. And one of the greatest shield characters in the game is Saint Walker, who not only offers shields, but he offers stats. And extra stats are very welcome when it comes to surviving hits, because it gives you that little bit of oomph that you need, to really get to stay alive through that initial turn from the enemy team. Not only that, but anytime your team does get a turn, they kind of recover a little bit. They heal a little bit if they're below a certain health threshold, and they gain a certain amount of shield. And that's really, really nice to have. Alan Scott can passively give you shield. Ocean Master gives shield quickly because he's at like 120 speed. And then the granddaddy shielder himself is Mr. Penguin here, who is one of the most annoying meat shields in the game, other than the fact that he and Barda can get shredded by like Lex, for instance. He's a great character as far as taking hits, shielding the team, because anytime he gets hit, he can AoE shield the entire team with a fuck ton of shield. So you either have to hit under the shield, or you have to buff immune him so that he can't gain taunt anymore. Which is kind of annoying to deal with, because it means that you have to bring a specific character out to deal with him. But shields are actually pretty rampant in the game, because this is all Mystic, right? Except for Penguin. And then you go to the energy section, and you've got all these fucking lanterns that are just coated in shields. That one's got shields. That one's got shields. This guy's got shields. He's not even a lantern. This guy's got shields for days. You know, like, all these people have shields. It's very common. It's very useful. The survivability is real. I don't even know what else to say. It's It's just that good of a survivability mechanic. Now, the problem is that a lot of these characters don't give shield turn 0, right? You have to have a leader like Hal Jordan, or Atrocitus, or, you know, all these turn 0 shield givers. And most of them are leaders, unfortunately. So Hal Jordan's actually a pretty good leader as far as surviving the turn meter meta, because he offers those shields right away. He's tanky enough and fast enough that he can kind of offer your team more shield. He can CC or crowd control an important member of the enemy team. He can call assists and give shields at the same time. You know, and not only that, but the most potent thing about him is the debuff immunity that he gives at turn 0, which prevents your team from getting stunned, from getting bled out, from, if you're fighting a Chemo, prevents Chemo from applying doom to your team. Like, there's so many good debuff teams out there that Hal just completely negates. And speed metas are not immune to debuffs. Like, look at Cheetah, for instance. Her niche, she could technically be considered a speed enhancer as well. The only problem is that her speed enhancement is secluded to a very specific niche. It's in the bleed category, and unless you are teaming her with other bleeders, you know, she won't offer you that extra speed. So Hal Jordan would counter potentially a Cheetah bleed team, unless, of course, that Cheetah one-shots your Hal Jordan. But that's why you just have a turn 0 taunter and you're good. The speed meta is just it's a formula in your head, right? You just have to think about who's on the enemy team and what character on your team could help counter it, right? So let's go into PvP real quick and just try and find a speed meta team. Right off the bat, I see a Martian Manhunter team, right? And he's got Arcus. Okay, so this one's really stupid because he's got a lot of characters on the team that kind of offer each other some annoyance. Cascane, in my opinion, is considered an obstacle character because if you miss her, she will retaliate. And if you use one of those AoE characters that offer turn meter down, they're likely going to miss her, and that's unfortunate. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to counter speed with speed. I'm going to keep Cheetah, right? I'm going to get Kilowog next. Kilowog right there. I'm going to get, let's see, Superboy. Let's get Superboy specifically for Cascane. And then let's get a red in there as well, just so we can fight against Cass here. Let's see here. Not Penguin, because we don't have any. Well, we have Kilowog, so that actually might work. Fuck. We could do this guy. No, because then everyone's going to target him first. This is the hard part. This is the final key in the thing, because Kilowog is going to basically start the match off, almost. Like, Cheetah's going to go first, but she's not going to be able to do anything because they all have awareness. So Kilowog is going to go next, and he's going to AoE turn meter down Martian Manhunter, Arcus, and Wonder Girl. But he's likely going to miss Cascane, and then we're going to get fucked. So we'll see where this goes. I'm going to try and bring Robin as my red, because he'll be invisible. So Arcus won't be able to taunt right against him. He should be able to silence Cass and prevent her from strength-upping the entire team. We'll see how this goes. Superboy's there not only for the Cascane, but also for the extra turn meter. So now I'm going to actually peel this off of Manhunter so that he can't go invisible right away and just stay alive. Now I'm going to silence Cass here so she can't AoE strength up the enemy team. Because if I stun Arcus right now, right, then there's a good chance that she'll just peel that stun off of him and he'll fuck me up. So we missed Cass, we got the retaliation, but we're green, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Now I'm going to try and peel off those invisibilities. We only got one of them, sadly. Oof, duh. Alright, so I've got a couple empowered strength ups. So let's take out this Arcus. Perfect. Oof, there goes Superboy. That's a little scary now because of the fact that Cass is still a thing, right? We definitely need to keep my Kilowog alive. This is going to be down to the wire, I think. Ooh, we didn't kill her. We almost killed her. We didn't kill her. Shoot. I'm going to bleed him a bit more. Okay, so now he's dead. Shit. I might win this, guys. I might win this. I definitely need to kill her before Kilowog dies here. Kilowog might be able to be my saving grace. Let's get some bleeds on her. Oh shit, Kilowog's gonna die if I don't kill her right now. Just those bleeds got her. Booyah. Booyah. I think Superboy was like a risk. Not a risk, but like it was unlucky that he died in that fight because obviously Wonder Girl targeted him. Oh shit, I'm down points. People are attacking my ass. I'm below 1500. This is, by the way, like PvP just restarted today, so I'm not like slacking, I promise. Let's see here. Let's try and find one more. This is a speed enhancement team, right? So an easy way to counter a speed enhancement team, right? Especially one like this where there is no turn 0 taunter, right? Is you bring all of the counters to this enemy team. So Cheetah is my number one pick because she can one-shot that Lex and prevent them from gaining that turn meter throughout the rest of the fight, those heals throughout the rest of the fight, right? If he doesn't die, I should bring Freddy, my powerhouse blue hero that can finish him off, one, or help finish off that Flash next. And then let's get an energy character in here. Oh, what is going on? Okay. Let's get an energy character in here that can prevent or kill straight up the, what's his name? Castaway Green Arrow. Dum-da-da-dum. Let's do... Man, there's so many good characters. Ooh, we could do Larfleeze. I haven't used Larfleeze like ever. Let's just do that for a change. Then we need a physical for Black Adam. And we could do Artemis, we could do Booster, we could do Metallo if we do need some survivability. But I'm just going to go with Ravager as my red or blue killer. And then hopefully after this we can do a meat shield wall, like a meat wall counter team instead of just a kill them before they kill me team. But this is the primary way that you would counter a Lex team, is kill them all before they can kill you. And that's why I bring Freddy, because now I can kill Lex with my AoE, right? Now they've crit damage down. Larfleeze is already kind of starting to move forward. Let's take out this Castaway. Oh, we were so close. Almost got him. Let's take out Black Adam. Oh, we didn't kill him either. Shoot. Well, shitty titty. He might actually kill my cheetah. Ooh. Yeah, that might happen. Let's kill this Flash before he goes off the hook, and then we will steal, hopefully, the invisibility. Perfect. and some turn meter, and then Ravager, I'm just going to have her execute these guys. Bing, bang, boom, donezo. Normally I'd crit those guys, and they just die right off the bat, but that's fine, because we still survived. Barely, but we survived. That's why Rebirth is a thing. And then we're back to 1500 as well, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Now let's try a beef wall team, like a straight up wall of beef, and hope that we can counter a speed meta team via beef. Ooh, is that a Batman World's Greatest Detective? I have not seen that in a while. Ooh, it's a just full-on red team, very slow team. The speed meta would eradicate that instantaneously almost. That Bane, what is that Rebirth Bane? I need to check that. That might be a Rebirth 5 Bane. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, well guess who's taking a screenshot? I've recorded that Rebirth 5. Now let's try and just see what we got as far as building a team around the beefiness, right? So Medfill team, a little interesting to deal with here. So let's reorganize, right? Let's go with Saint Walker for extra stats, and because out of the 4 of them are going to be enrage heavy, so Saint Walker can stun those characters and make that almost easy sauce. And then let's put our own beef daddy in it with Mr. Solomon Grundy. And let's see, we're going to want to stick with blue characters, right? Because they seem very green heavy. So maybe Parasite, because Parasite's pretty tanky, beefy. And we're going to need probably some sort of... actually, we're not going to use Saint Walker. We're not. We're going to use Roz. Roz is tanky as fuck. He has the problem with tanky characters is they don't always do a lot of damage. Grundy can, right? But Parasite doesn't. And Roz, you kind of need debuffs like bleed or disease to really be able to take out another tanky team, or just like, because there's some characters that just are very hard to fully kill, and you need to either purge off their death immunity or like just melt through their like 10,000 stamina ups like Barda has. So some of them are pretty difficult to worry about. So let's try and just stick with what we know. And let's see, who else is our beefy boys? Shazam's a beefy boy, but we don't really want to give Superboy a whole lot of, whatchamacallit, ammo, I want to say, right? Because ammo is, he's going to give his team more turn meter up, so we can't use Deadman either. So let's try and use Spectre. Spectre's going to be that guy that has the purge. He's got some damage, heal immunity, a bunch of good stuff. So we have 3 tanky boys and a damage dealer on our team. And that's how I think we're going to be able to survive through the beef. Medfill is can be hard to kill if he has his death immunity or shields going. And with Guy on the team even, they have the crit immunity. So there's a lot of potency here that is difficult to just like weed through. Beautiful. Okay. A lot of damage immunity. Can't hurt him yet. Let's start trying to get some diseases out as well. Let's try and steal that damage immunity. Perfect. Ooh. Ooh. Like, see, look at all these... the shield is just piling up. They've got so much speed. Like, it's a little ridiculous how powerful this is. Spectre's also good because he can hit under shields. And that was pretty awesome. I don't know how powerful that Superboy was. I probably should have checked the power level of this team before I fought it. So, let's see. Let's try and silence Guy before he can enrage himself. Ooh, that Grundy's a thickum boy. Okay, so since we can hit under shields, let's try and take Guy out. Okay, Guy's gone. Oof. Okay. Grundy scares me a little bit. Like, he hits hard, and he's enraged. Ooh, see, he just took mine out. That's no bueno. Let's try and kill Medfill slowly but surely. Parasite is hanging on by, like, a thread here. I should have silenced Grundy, made sure he couldn't enrage himself. Hopefully this stuns. Good. That was lucky. That was RNG Jesus. RNGesus on my team. And the beefiness is bringing it back. Hopefully we can finish him off here soon. We gonna be able to do it? He's already silenced. He came back, fuck. Parasite, I need you to figure this shit out. Okay, never mind. Spectre's got it. Back of his hand, he's got this shit. So basically, throw up your meat wall, protect your meat wall. It would have been better if instead of Parasite, I brought in a healer or a shielder, because that would have prevented Grundy from dying in the first place, right? I think I just wanted to line up a bunch of pieces of meat and let everyone gawk at them, basically, make them horny. But whatchamacallit, so really that's kind of it, guys. Like, you just pick a oh, you know what, I didn't even mention this guy, but Superman is probably your best piece of meat, your meatiest shield. Like, he is going to absorb so much. The speed team is going to be so pissed off against a Superman, because they're going to get all these turns, right? They're going to get like 20 turns in a row before you get one turn. But they're going to be faced with a Superman who's just going to, like, taunt with damage immunity and death immunity. They're never going to be able to kill him. They're never going to be able to kill your team, because they're just taking all these turns and not letting Superman like wear off, like let all of the buffs on Superman just like go away on their own. So he is one of the best meat shields in the game, and very, very useful in that regard. So I highly suggest using Superman if you guys have him as well. But yeah, I think that might do it for this episode as far as countering the speed meta. Just bring in the anti-turn meter characters, like the AoE ones. Kid Flash is amazing. I use him all the time for removing awarenesses, for removing turn meter, right off that bat. And there's so much versatility, especially in these AoE characters here, that reduce turn meter, can really give you the upper edge in a fight. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoy this content, and I hope that you guys subscribe or go check out my Patreon. It's really fun. We have a good time there. Thanks, guys.